Shu and Modoko are sitting in their living room with the weather telecast in the background, as if anyone's interested in that when Shu mentions a phone call for Iura the previous day. A guy named Kitahara called, but since he used their family name, Shu didn't know who the call was for. Motoko shouts at Shu for hanging up on the call instead of giving it to her. Shu starts acting all protective, telling Modoko to not bring him in his absence. Motoko keeps screaming in a panic about how everyone knows Kitahara likes some other girl. Motoko looks up after her embarrassed rant about liking a guy who doesn't like her, only to find her brother gone into the kitchen and stuffing his mouth with food. Shu tells her that Kitahara said he would not visit for a study session if it snowed, making her scream at Shu again for not getting to the point before. Yoshikawa and Miyamura walk on either side of Hori, like zombies due to the virus named English exam biting them. Toru and Shu walk behind when he receives a text from Motoko about a friend visiting, so he should not disturb them. This switches Shu's footsteps to his home. Motoko panics about having all the snacks ready, and if she is missing out on anything when she starts feeling embarrassed for trying too hard for just a study session. Upon hearing the door slide, Motoko asks if it is Kitahara, only to see her furious brother questioning why she didn't mention that the friend was this guy. The two start quarreling over the possessive older brother's behavior of Shu, so as Kitahara enters the house, he sees the two siblings quite literally holding swords at each other. Motoko cannot help but go red with embarrassment as she excuses Shu for not being in the right mood. What she does not realize is that the not-in-mood behavior of Shu left such a strong, impressive remark on Kitahara. The colder Shu acts towards Kitahara, the more he feels charmed by him. Hence, Kitahara visits every day, but much to Motoko's dismay, it is not for her but for her brother. Shu is unaware that Kitahara's fascination is making him get lost while staring at Shu. This creates another argument between the siblings, as she tells him it is his fault for not having a girlfriend and making Kitahara interested in him. Shu takes this issue with his friends, telling Motoko blamed him for her not being cute. Hori can't help but tell him that Motoko is very cute with her short, messy hair. As soon as she says Motoko's short hair is cute, Yoshikawa and Miyamura enter the room, both asking if their short hair is being praised. Hori is amused at Miyamura's confident grin with this question while she was talking about a girl. Miyamura mentions Motoko's acting out as if a dog going through adolescence, and just like that, the randomness of the group begins. Yoshikawa exclaims she is still going through adolescence, while Toru mocks her for lying about it, while Shu thinks puberty is what is making Motoko act so weird. Toru casually asks what weird stuff she said, only for all of the banter to pause when hearing Motoko asking Shu to hook up with Sengoku. Everyone consoles him that Motoko must be thinking Sengoku is some girl, while Shu keeps his sullen expression while saying he thinks Ayasaki is prettier than Sengoku. Shu finally tells them that the person Motoko likes seems to like him. He then brings out his teaching stick and explains the complex situation that a middle school guy is interested in him. Hori and Yoshikawa start gossiping about a brother stealing his sister's crush, causing another wave of frustration for Shu. Toru then smoothly pushes him into exclaiming he likes Sengoku. To make it perfect, this is the exact moment Sengoku walks into the room, making Hori and Yoshikawa tease Shu even more. Toru tells him to get a girlfriend then, which makes the poor boy retort that should he make one out of clay. As the girls keep pestering him if he likes someone, Sengoku blankly asks what this is about, making Miyamura smile blankly for having no idea. The next day, Motoko wakes Shu, asking him why he is not left yet. Shu screams for oversleeping and runs while carrying a toast in his mouth. He decides to not run and eat at the same time, and slows down only to bang into Yoshikawa, who was running in a similar state. Like any dramatic soul, Yoshikawa wishes for it to be a handsome transfer student, only to find Shu. The two then walk while eating, only to have a running Toru catch up while eating a rice cake. The three then pause when a breathless Miyamura catches up to them with a meat bun and juice in his hand. The three then walk to school, already accepting that they are late. The only problem is that all four of them forget they only had afternoon classes that day. Hori laughs at the four of them for being this stupid. Toru, Shu, and Hori then accompany Ayasaki to the school store, looking around at the perspective of middle schoolers who might join this high school. As turning around the corner, Shu notices Kitahara and hides behind the wall as Toru tells them the way to the school ground. Luckily, Toru only calls him by his real name, which Kitahara is unaware of, but the universe seems to be wanting to have some fun with Shu lately. Ayasaki starts calling him Iura, as he is internally freaking out. Her attempts to bring him back to reality bring Kitahara's attention to Shu. To get rid of him, Shu screams at Kitahara only to receive a smack from Yasuda for bullying the kid. Hori and Ayasaki bombard Kitahara with questions only to receive one question in return about whether Shu has a girlfriend. The two stifle their laughs and wonder if they should lie. This embarrasses Shu, but Yasuda saves the day for him by taking the kids away. For the first time, a student feels grateful to Yasuda. As Miyamura, Yoshikawa, and Sengoku are enlightened about the situation, they all collectively corner Shu once again for the incident before. As soon as Shu reveals that Kitahara is Motoko's classmate, Hori's eyes go wide, and she realizes that he is the one who has a crush on Shut. The four who know the story start teasing Shu yet again, while Ayasaki and Sengoku sit there, blank about the situation. Sengoku's father enters his home to see some extra pair of shoes and sounds from his house. He wonders if his son always had friends close enough to have a sleepover with. Upstairs in the room, there is chaos to manage the space for the sleeping of the four boys. Iura excitedly requests to take the loft bed and even convinces Sengoku not to remove the bunch of books lying around on the bed. Toru offers to take the floor, but dryly mentions someone already asleep on a good amount of space. Sengoku cannot believe Miyamura is already asleep, while the sleepy guy wakes up murmuring about feeling hot. He is about to remove his shirt when Toru screams and jumps on him, but the sleeping beauty does not gain consciousness, so Toru just slowly pushes him to the other side. Sengoku observes the weird commotion but decided to sleep too, only he forgot to manage space for himself in all the chaos. Sengoku tries to manage space, but for that, he needs to wake up at least one of the guys, which kind of seems impossible provided the guys are already in their dream phases. As Miyamura dreams of Horai using his organs for something, Iura panics in his dream about Motoko doing something scary. Sengoku feels traumatized upon knowing about the kind of dreams his friends have. Sengoku stands in his room, regretting not cleaning it when the poor president realized his room is clean. It is just small and has a lot of books in it. Iura walks down the loft for the restroom when he comes across the situation. He wakes everyone up to manage space, but of course, the lump names Miyamura is impossible to wake. They squeeze the skinny duo, Miyamura and Sengoku, into the loft, while Miyamura shudders in his sleep as if Kiyosaki is threatening him to leave. After moving, Miyamura returns to his la-la-land while Sengoku feels awkward. Out of nowhere, Sengoku recalls Miyamura not agreeing to show his skin anywhere during the past events, so he tries to look down at his shirt. To make things perfect, Iura climbs up the loft asking Sengoku about his phone, only to see what seems like Sengoku harassing Miyamura. Iura excuses himself and tries to act like he did not witness a traumatic situation by mentioning he disposed of his phone. Sengoku tries to clear the situation, but Mr. President is so good at words that his clarification is telling he was just trying to take off Miyamura's shirt. Miyamura is still asleep, but Toru wakes up and covers for him by suggesting lifting the table and making space for Sengoku. The morning call turns out to be the sound of Toru slapping Iura because he was laughing in his sleep. The three greet each other and call upon Miyamura when Sengoku rushes to wake him up, and so does Iura. Toru follows through. Iura, Sengoku, and Toru are straddling him while Toru is warning Iura to not let Sengoku do something sneaky to Miyamura. As Miyamura gets back from the restroom, Toru has made up another big story about why Miyamura does not show his skin. Even in school, Sengoku keeps wondering about the real reason while Toru tries to wave him off. Miyamura enters the same room, only for Sengoku to creepily offer him to try his sweater as he thinks it will look nice on him. Miyamura starts taking off his blazer, so Toru throws off the pencils on the table to distract Sengoku. When Sengoku looks back, Miyamura is already gleaming in his sweater, so Sengoku finally decides to directly ask why he does not show any skin. Once again, the questions sound odd and creepy, so Miyamura runs away shouting that the president is bullying him. Remi and Sengoku walk back home, just like usual when Remi decides to warm her hands by placing them on Sengoku's face. She then delightfully skips around feeling less cold, but after a while, it seems like she wants more attention, so she tells Sengoku to hold hands with him. She then acts like a stubborn kid wanting candy while demanding a hug from Sengoku, which he complies with. The next day, Remy and Sakura study till off time, but when they pack up, it is Sakura who asks Sengoku to walk home with him rather than Remy. This is witnessed by Hori, who shares her confusion with Yoshikawa. They both deduce Remy must have gone home, but their sentimental brains cannot help but judge Sengoku when Remy walks up to them, unable to find the two who left. Sengoku and Sakura sit in a restaurant when Toru sees them and walks to his table. He shares with Iura how the two are alone, while Sengoku carries a gift bag. Toru tries to stop Iura from judging them too soon, but Iura is already wondering if Remy is available now. Sengoku finds the two after he caught up to the weird scream of Iura, knowing no one else screams that way. Sengoku tells them not to share this with Remy, but Iura playfully threatens him to do so. Iura then receives an actual threat from Sengoku to not dare do so. Sengoku then takes his leave from a happy Sakura, who smiles at the gift bag and recalls the reason. She had offered Remy to get her premium cookies if she scores a 60 in her next mock exam. Remy got super excited, but then pretended as if she does not care about material things. However, the cute kid felt depressed upon scoring a 58 instead of 60, as if this was not an improvement from her usual 40. Hence, Sengoku helped Sakura get those cookies, but he did not want Remy to know that. The next day, Sakura walks into the classroom sharing how she passed by the shop and decided to buy the cookies. She then shares it with Remy, as if she did not specifically get them for her. Remy shyly thanks her, after which the two laugh about how Sengoku refused to share with them, as it would leave fewer cookies for Remy. Sengoku, who is eavesdropping outside, gets flustered overhearing what he never said, while Toru tries to calm him, the embarrassed president.